to the Full Moon Festival 2024. The theme will be the warrior and the battle. Again, welcome to the Full Moon Festival in Scorpio. In these very interesting times, it's good to know that we're persisting in the work of letting in the light. This will be the last but one of the full moon festivals in 2024, the year preceding the much awaited, expectant, and momentous coming year of 2025, the centennial conclave of the hierarchy. Concerning the constellation Scorpio, the Tibetan made the following statement: in order the better to understand the nature of discipleship and the processes of stabilizing in the right direction, we must precede the Capricornian experience of initiation with a careful study of the spiritual implications of the sign of Scorpio and of its function in providing points of crisis and moments of orientation, as this will be of the utmost value to the earnest student. Esoteric Astrology, page 202. Scorpio is the preeminent constellation of discipleship and establishes the necessary relationships needed on the path of discipleship. Scorpio makes available through these relationships the energies and forces which, when carefully employed, enable the disciple to achieve, whether we are considering the individual disciple or a discipleship group, or even the nation, as vehicles for transmitting spiritual energies into the world, or whether we are considering humanity itself, the world disciple. In Esoteric Astrology by Alice Bailey, the Tibetan has indicated many energy relationships involving Scorpio, but only a few may be referred to in a presentation like this. For example, we are told that Syrian energies from Sirius both influence and flow through Scorpio and controls our spiritual hierarchy. This relationship enables the cosmic Christ to work upon the Christ principle in the solar system, in the planet, in man, and in the lower forms of life expression. The Christ principle, the love principle, is a major incentive, inspiration, and stimulation on the path of discipleship. Scorpio influences a turning point both in the life of humanity and the life of the individual human being. And looking at the world situation and considering the current direction at the United Nations, does it not seem like we are approaching some form of a turning point? Scorpio constitutes one of the arms of the fixed cross of the heavens. This cross is also called the cross of the crucified Christ, and is of peculiar and specialized potency upon the path of discipleship and preparing with its tests and trials. One, the process of reorientation. Two, the disciple for the first second and third initiation. Esoteric Astrology, page 199. Let us pause for a moment to sound the affirmation of the disciple. I am a point of light within a greater light. I am a strand of loving energy within the stream of love divine. I am a point of sacrificial fire focused within the fiery will of God, and thus I stand. I am a way by which men may achieve. I am a source of strength, enabling them to stand. I am a beam of light shining upon their way, and thus I stand. And standing thus, revolve and tread this way, the ways of men, and know the ways of God, and thus I stand. Oh. Today, in this rapidly approaching new age, aspirants and disciples everywhere in the world are going through some form of the Scorpio experience on the fixed cross, where Scorpio is found, and through which Scorpio exercises its specialized and peculiar potencies, quote unquote. The fixed cross deserves few characterizations, which highlights some of the many influences of Scorpio. And Scorpio is a major arm on the fixed cross. This cross is outstandingly the cross of discipleship. And in the sign Scorpio, on this cross, the disciple undergoes those tests which will enable him to take the second initiation and demonstrate that the desired nature is subdued and conquered, and that the lower nature is, by being lifted up in the air, capable of reaching the goal of this world period. And from the earthy foundations of Scorpio, the personality can be so tested that it shows fitness for world service demanded in Aquarius. In this quote, the words, by being lifted up in the air, that is, by being lifted into heaven, is significant in terms of the particular labor of Hercules in the sign of Scorpio. It indicates the symbolic technique which will spell victory for Hercules, the disciple, in this sign. The fixed cross is also the cross of transmutation, on which desire becomes aspiration and selfishness is transformed into selflessness. It is a cross whose four energies condition the life of a man who is first a probationary disciple and then an accepted or pledged disciple. The fixed cross is outstandingly the cross of the soul. The man who is upon the fixed cross is becoming increasingly aware of its direction and influences, and does not respond as blindly as the man upon the mutable cross. He does not mount this cross of right direction in a technical sense until he has attained some measure of soul contact and has had some touch of illumination and of spiritual intuition no matter how fleeting that touch may have been. It is the cross of fixed vision and of that immovable intent which draws the man from points of light to blazing solar radiance. The person upon the fixed cross says, I am the soul, and here I stand. I face the light. I am the light, and in that light shall I see light. It is the cross whose four energies blend with and transmit the energies of the solar system itself. The energies of this cross continues to evoke response until the time of the third initiation. Scorpio, being on this fixed cross, is significant to all disciples. The four arms of this cross are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, of course, and Aquarius. It is called the fixed cross because the man is stretched upon it by the directed choice and immovable intent of his soul. From that decision, there is no turning back. Esoteric Astrology, pages 554 to page 555. In Scorpio, all the struggles on the path of discipleship are brought to a climax. Mars is the god of war. And in Scorpio, with the same planet ruling his interior life, the war is on. And in this case, Mars rules not only the physical body, but the entire form vehicle, which we call the personality in the three worlds. All aspects of the lower nature are involved in this crisis, for Mars is the esoteric ruler in Scorpio, and the tests applied involve the form nature, gross and subtle, integrated, and potent. Esoteric Astrology, page 210. There are three tests in Scorpio facing the disciple, each test demonstrating its triple nature of life, quality, and appearance, thus making 9 in all. Here we see the numerical correspondence, for 9 is the number of initiation, we are told. And when the disciple has successfully undergone all 9 tests and succeeded, so that the trials wield no power over her, she becomes the initiate and consummates the third initiation. For we are told again that the disciple is initiate before she takes initiation. Scorpio is also the sign of death and consummation and overcoming. All three words are significantly connected with initiations, according to the writings of the Tibetan. The tests in Scorpio fall into 3 categories. The test of appetite, involving sex, physical comfort, and money as concretized energy. The test connected with desire in the astral plane, which are not so gross, but produce automatic effects on the physical plane. They are fear, hate, and ambition. And in the third category are the thirst of the lower critical mind, which are pride, separativeness, and cruelty. These are most subtle and equally most problematic. These 9 tests are symbolized by the 9-headed hydra that Hercules had to destroy in the 8th labor. in Scorpio. Let us consider a loose summary of the labor that Hercules encountered and succeeded in Scorpio. The great presiding one instructs Hercules to perform the eighth labor. He defines the labor for Hercules, and he says, "Go find the nine-headed Hydra, which is now a pest to the people. Destroy the monstrous and powerful beast. It has 9 heads, concealing one head that is immortal. But be careful, because destroy one head and 2 will spring up in its place. Ordinary measures will not work. And successful means I may not indicate or tell you, but advice in cryptic words or hints I may share with you." These are the cryptic words. We rise by kneeling. We conquer by surrendering. We gain by giving up. Go forth, O Son of God, who is also the Son of Man, and conquer. Hercules, confident in his physical prowess, sets forth. After a while, finds the dwelling of the nine-headed, horrible abode. He spokes the Hydra out and struggles with it, sure of his strength and eager to conquer. He has all the mixed ambitions of a person well endowed in the many aspects of his personality. This Hydra symbolizes all evil and all ugliness that man encounters. Hercules deals a blow with his mighty club to one of the monstrous heads of the hideous creature, only to find 2 other heads appear. The Hydra was getting stronger with each assault and gaining strength in the slime and on the ground. In short, Hercules was employing personality methods, and they were not working. Try as he did, Hercules was failing. This is what assails the aspirant to discipleship and the struggling disciples as she learns the techniques of the path. She hears the clarion calls of the soul embodied in the cryptic hints of the presiding one, but she hears it dimly, for the serpent of evil is in control of the personality. At length, through much suffering, she perceives with clarity and heeds to the voice of the soul, the serpent of wisdom, saying, "We rise by kneeling." Hercules kneels and lifts the Hydra aloft in the air and sunshine. Hercules, sustaining this action of lifting, he sees the Hydra weaken, wither, emaciate, and languish, and fall to the ground as the refreshing air and the purifying sun effectively destroys the Hydra and its 9 heads. Only then does Hercules discern the immortal head, the anchorage of the soul. In kneeling, Hercules demonstrates humility, which the Tibetan defines as a capacity for the sense of right proportion. And through this sense of right proportion, Hercules discovers the right method, the skill in action, and the right tension needed. and appropriate to the circumstances. He employs his strength wisely in sustaining the uplifted creature, which represents the problem to be solved, which represents the goal. He submits the problem to the illumination of the sun, the intuition on the mental plane, symbolized by the air. Hercules is employing the gifts of humility and strength, which are of the soul and not of the personality. Hercules, the disciple in all of us, whether active or not, is a spiritual warrior, and his armor for the battle is not made of metals, but is of the virtues that come from wisdom. And when he puts on this armor of wisdom, of the soul, which are the wise cryptic words given to him by the presiding one, he prevails. Concerning this armor for the battle, the words of St. Paul in Ephesians come to mind, and I quote at length: "Put on the complete armor of God, so as to be able to stand firm against all stratagems of the devil. For ours is not a conflict with mere flesh and blood, but with the despotisms, the empires, the forces that control and govern this dark world, the spiritual hosts of evil arrayed against us in the heavenly warfare. Therefore, put on the complete armor of God, so that you may be able to stand your ground on the day of battle, and having fought to the end, to remain victors on the field. Stand therefore first, fastening round you the girdle of truth, and putting on the breastplate of uprightness, as well as the shoes of the good news, the gospel, a firm foundation for your feet. And besides all these, take the great shield of faith, on which you'll be able to quench all the darts of the wicked one." Weymouth New Testament, Ephesians chapter 6, verses 12 to 16. The key words associated with Scorpio are test, trial, and triumph. For in Scorpio, the solar angel eventually and permanently becomes victor and triumphs. The disciple then realizes the audacious and victorious keynote: "Warrior I am, and from the battle I emerge triumphant." Let us meditate. The full moon approach to the hierarchy. He who faces the light and stands within its radiance is blinded to the issues of the world of men. He passes on the lighted way to the great center of absorption. But he who feels the urge to pass that way, yet loves his brother on the darkened path, revolves upon the pedestal of light and turns the other way. He faces towards the dark, and then the 7 points of light within himself transmit the outward streaming light. And lo, the face of those upon the darkened way receives that light. For them, the way is not so dark. Behind the warriors, twixt the light and dark, blazes the light of hierarchy. Meditation, letting in the light. Group fusion. We affirm the fact of group fusion and integration within the heart center of the group of world service, mediating between hierarchy and humanity. Let's say together, I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is theirs. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Alignment. We project a line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, the planetary heart, the great ashram of Sanat Kumara, and towards the Christ at the heart of hierarchy. Extend the line of light towards Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. Higher interlude. Hold the contemplative mind open to the extraplanetary energies streaming into Shambhala, radiated through hierarchy, using the creative imagination, endeavor to see the three planetary centers, Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, gradually coming into alignment and interplay. Meditation. Reflect on the seed thought using the appropriate keynote of the zodiacal sign. Warrior I am. And from the battle, I emerge triumphant. precipitation. Using the creative imagination, visualize the energies of light, love, and the will to good pouring throughout the planet and becoming anchored on Earth in prepared physical plane centers through which the plan can manifest. Use the sixfold progression of divine love as the sequence of energy precipitation. Shambhala, hierarchy, the Christ, the group of well servers, men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world, physical centers of distribution. Lower interlude. Refocus the consciousness as a group within the periphery of the great ashram. Together sound the affirmation. In the center of all love, I stand. From that center, I, the soul, will outward move. From that center, I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. Visualize the downpouring spiritual inflow released from Shambhala through the hierarchy and streaming into humanity through the prepared channel. Consider how these impouring energies are establishing the pathway of light for the coming world teacher, the Christ. Distribution. As the great invocation is sounded, visualize the outpouring of light and love and power from the spiritual hierarchy through the five planetary inlets: London, Darjeeling, New York, Geneva, Tokyo, irradiating the consciousness of the whole human race. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, Let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh. 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 Thank you. The next meditation meeting will be the new moon meditation on November 29th, 6 p.m. It will be a webinar only. It will be a webinar. The next new moon festival. And then after that, the full moon for Sagittarius, December 14th, 3 p.m. It's a Saturday, so the time is at 3 p.m. The Scorpio full moon peaks tomorrow, November 15th, at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for all those who can, we all make the effort to link up at this propitious moment, 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to let in the light. Thank you very much. And good evening to you all.